A South London drug dealer convicted for supplying cocaine has been jailed after his seized encrypted phone showed he had imported more than half a ton of the Class A drug. Curtis Hoyt, 35, from Beckenham, was investigated by the Organised Crime Partnership, a joint national crime agency, and Metropolitan Police Service unit. OCP officers arrested him in May 2020 after he was observed handing over 5 kilos of cocaine with an estimated street value of $180,000 to the driver of a flatbed truck near Beckenham Hill Station. They seized 3 phones from him, one of which was an encrypted EncroChat device. Subsequent forensic examination of messages showed he had used this to orchestrate the importation of 540 kilos of cocaine over a 9-month period between June 2019 and March 2020 using the handle Retroblade. In October 2020, a jury convicted him and a truck driver, Kieran Graham, 27, of Rayleigh, Essex, in relation to the seizure of 5 kilos of cocaine. Graham was subsequently sentenced to 8 years imprisonment for this offence. Hoyt was convicted by a jury at South Waugh Crown Court on March the 25th this year in relation to drugs and money laundering offences concerning the 540 kilos of cocaine. He was sentenced to 10 years imprisonment in November last year for the 5 kilo seizure and to 18 years imprisonment at the same court on the 8th of April for the importation shown on his EncroChat phone. The sentences will run concurrently. The OCP investigation formed part of Operation Venetic, the UK NCA-led law enforcement response to the takedown of the EncroChat service in June 2020. Andrew Tickner, NCA operations manager from the OCP, said, "From the seizure of a relatively small amount of cocaine, my team was able to build a picture of a large-scale drug dealing arranged by Curtis Hoyt. He was behind a multi-kilo importations which would have seeped onto the streets of London and the UK, leaving a trail of violence and exploitation with them. The crucial partnership between the National Crime Agency and the Metropolitan Police Service has helped put a high-harm offender behind bars for a very long time. The fight against organised criminal networks behind the drugs trade will never slow down. The Organised Crime Partnership, formerly the Middle Market Drugs Partnership, has been in operation for 20 years and is comprised of equal numbers of specialist NCA officers and Metropolitan Police detectives. The team works to stop the flow of drugs to the criminal market in London, target upstream criminals that impact on London, as well as disrupting those overseas that might make huge profits from this illegal activity. Here's some more news from the National Crime Agency. A Belgian drug trafficker who tried to smuggle hundreds of kilos of cocaine into the UK by pretending it was a medical delivery has been sentenced to 18 years in prison. Bart Verschueren, 40, orchestrated a sophisticated plot to transport 285 kilograms of cocaine worth an estimated 22.8 million hidden beneath dry ice in a lorry bound for the UK. He falsely claimed the shipment was destined for St Mary's Hospital in Paddington, London, in effort to bypass checks during the first COVID lockdown. The deception was uncovered on the 5th of May 2020 when part-time driver, unaware of the true nature of the cargo, was stopped by Border Force officers at Coquelles, France. The driver, who had been recruited by Verschueren, presented documents claiming the consignment was a medical-grade dry ice. However, investigators found blocks of cocaine concealed underneath. The driver was arrested but later released without charge after it became clear he had been duped. Verschueren had previously been jailed in Belgium for unrelated drug trafficking offences committed in 2020 and 2021. He was extradited to the UK in August 2024 to face charges for the 2020 smuggling operation. Despite denying the offences, Verschueren was convicted in March 2025 following a trial at Canterbury Crown Court. Prosecutors revealed that the same vehicle had successfully entered the UK 3 times in the weeks before the seizure, suggesting a wider smuggling operation. Verschueren was sentenced on the basis that he trafficked at least 500 kilograms of cocaine using a transport company he owned as a cover. Peter Jones, operations manager at the National Crime Agency, said, "Bart Verschueren did everything he could to avoid justice, even going so far as to report his own driver missing to deflect blame once the lorry was intercepted. He showed no concern for the man's freedom or the damage these drugs could do to the communities across the UK. The NCA remains committed to tackling the threat posed by Class A drugs, both here and overseas." Here's another story again from the National Crime Agency. A British crime boss who armed organised crime groups with military-grade weapons has finally been brought to justice after a major National Crime Agency investigation. Philip Waugh, 39, operated under alias Ace Prospect on the encrypted platform EncroChat, where he offered weapons including AK-47s, Uzi and Scorpion machine guns, pistols, and hundreds of rounds of ammunition to gangs across the UK. His activities were uncovered during Operation Phonetic, the NCA's response to the international takedown of EncroChat in 2020. Waugh was tracked down in Spain, where he was arrested on the 12th of September last year at a luxury villa in Benahavis, Malaga, in a joint operation with Spanish National Police. He was extradited to the UK and appeared in Liverpool Crown Court on the 11th of April, where he admitted multiple firearms offences and a charge of conspiring to cause grievous bodily harm. That GBH plot involved a plan to blind a man with acid, working with Jonathan Gordon, an enforcer for the Liverpool's notorious Delhi mob. Waugh messaged chilling instructions to double the dose and cook the victim's face. The attack was narrowly prevented when police intercepted Gordon before it could be carried out. Waugh's associate Robert Brazendale, 37, from Warrington, had previously been jailed for over 11 years for his role in distributing firearms. He has now admitted further offences linked to Waugh, including conspiring to carry out the acid attack. Authorities recovered a cache of weapons including AK-47s, Uzi and Scorpion machine guns, pistols and ammunition during their investigation. NCA senior investigator Ben Rutter said, "Waugh supplied terrifying automatic weaponry to criminals planning horrific violence. He is an extremely dangerous offender who showed no regard for human life, only for profit." Waugh and Brazendale are due to be sentenced on June the 27th. Please like this video, please comment, and don't forget to subscribe to my crime channel. Thank you.